Jesus said, "I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it." Back in February 2012, what is today known as Journey Church was originally planted as a campus out of One Way Community Church from Vanderbijl Park. This was under the leadership of Pastor Ralph and Kirsten Du Plessis, alongside Rick and Jen De Silva. The vision of the leadership was to transform the community of Vereniging with the love and compassion of Jesus Christ. After much looking around, the venue which we still occupy today was secured, and it was the humble beginnings of us reaching this community.
We can be thankful for the many volunteers who were willing to sacrifice to make this church plant a success. At the start of 2013, we celebrated our very first birthday with sure signs that the church was beginning to grow.
The venue posed many challenges for us, and we had to do the best with what we had. Slowly but surely, as finances allowed, we were able to do the necessary upgrades to help us serve the people. Much effort was put into the 2 squash courts and convert them into a kids facility. After much labor, in 2014, Pastors Rick and Jen De Silva moved on to one of our group churches in the Western Cape. Throughout that year, Maria and I wrestled as to where God was leading us. Toward the end of the year, after a fast, God clearly said, "Stay and build." And therefore it was in early 2015 that we were appointed as the campus pastors of the church.
Considering the future growth of the church, we were wondering whether we should build, buy, or occupy a new venue. And so we began the journey of scouting for property where we could build a home.
In this year, we really felt that the tide had turned and we began to see amazing momentum in the life of the church. In 2017, Pastors Ralph and Kirsten Du Plessis started their transition out of the church overseas. the conversation began as to what would happen to each of the campuses of One Way Community Church. The decision was made that each one would unbundle and become an autonomous, self-governing church, still within the Assemblies of God group of churches.
With our value for excellence, we kept trying to find ways to improve our venue.
Along with that, and more importantly, we wanted to build community amongst the people. And so we decided to start hosting various fun events. It was in April of 2018 that Maria and I, led by God, decided to leave our businesses and go full-time into ministry, giving the church the focused leadership that it needed.
It was about this time that it became evident that a willing and wonderful army of volunteers began to form, helping move the church forward.
Throughout 2018, under the incredible leadership of Pastors Trevor and Nikki Coleman, we began to plan for the launch of Journey Church. Our relaunch date was set, and on January 29, 2019, Journey Church was birthed. It was not long after this that we had Pastor Donovan Kutsia, the national leader of the Assemblies of God group, do mine and Maria's induction, officially making us the pastors of Journey Church, recognized within the Assemblies of God group.
It was now that we began to see things move onwards and upwards as we launched double services on Easter, welcomed our first staff member, and saw many others find their fit in God's house.
Twenty 2020 came and proved to be a fruitful yet challenging year. Obviously, COVID struck and church had to go online. Thankfully, we could adapt and we were still able to reach the people the best we could. A highlight in 2020 was purchasing our modular unit that was mainly for our explorers or junior youth, but this venue also acted as a multi-purpose venue for other church events. The biggest highlight from 2020 was when we as a church received R1 million cash. This was connected to a deal from when we were still part of One Way Community Church Vereniging. The church at the time owned a piece of property next to Vol University of Technology in SE8. The property was sold, was utilized as student housing, and we were honored in the sale. We could see that God was planning to continue building His church.
As COVID continued, the lack of basic needs of families in our community became evident. We were thankful for the generosity of many in our church who contributed up to 180,000 Rand to help support those in need.
In 2021, the decision to build, buy, or occupy was still a reality for us. After looking around at some more properties, we were led to a favorable piece of ground in Russellville. The negotiations began, and it was on the 1st of September 21 that we made an offer and we signed a deal. A it was around this time that we saw God's hand at work. One way was that we saw the agents we were working with step aside and offered to allow us to do a private deal. We also had a significant contribution of 200,000 Rand come in within that same 24-hour period, just enough for us to pay for the next step.
We continued week in and week out to build life-giving and God-honoring services. And while we saw God strengthen His people, we celebrated further upgrades, including the patio roof and our security fence.
Around this time, we as Journey Church felt that it was time to be a more generous church. And so the decision was made for us to start giving away each month 4% of our income to credible organizations. To date, we've helped Lifeline Vol, Proudly Three Rivers, Freedom of Religion South Africa, a missions in Lesotho, the People Matter Foundation, 2 schools, as well as the Sedibeng Children's Haven. All in all, we've given close on 200,000 Rand to these organizations.
In 2023, the steady growth of God building His church continued as we saw the launch of our 3rd service and many other special moments.
Behind the scenes, paperwork on the property continued. Our theme for 2024 is Build Strong. To build new what is necessary and to build stronger that which exists. Jesus said, "I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it." After years of waiting, dreaming, and praying, it is officially ours. We as Journey Church have acquired a 6.2 hectare piece of land on which to build a place that we can call home. This is home.